Well, Tyrone, thank you very much for joining us. You've had a couple of days now to process what happened on Saturday. With the benefit of that extra little bit of hindsight, how would you reflect on that result against Liverpool?
Still disappointing. The manner in which we lost is probably the toughest part of it to take. I don't want to sit here and say we knew how good they are and stuff, because we had the win kind of in our grasp. But when you look at the bigger picture, we played well. We gave a good account of ourselves, but I think that sounds a bit negative. I think we were so close to winning, so close to getting a point, which is obviously the most important thing in this league. Regardless of who you're playing, you need points. So still disappointing, but we'll go and have a debrief in a minute and look at the positives and probably have a bit more of a positive outlook on it.
What did the manager say to you immediately after the game?
Same thing, really. He spoke perhaps a bit more positively about our performance. For a manager to set up tactically and probably to see the team execute it so well for large parts of the game was probably quite pleasing for him. But obviously he set us up to go and win the game, and unfortunately we weren't able to do that. But we can take a lot of pride away from how we performed against them, for sure.
I was going to say, brings me on nicely to my next question about the performance. It must give you plenty of heart knowing that you can compete with one of the best sides in Europe, if not the world.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we can take positives from that, and we can analyse our individual performances and look at who we were up against and how we played against our direct opponent. And a lot of people will come out of that game thinking that they got one over on their opponent, which personally is a huge thing going into the league, and going into the next run of fixtures. If you can do that against Liverpool, there's no excuse of why we couldn't do it against every other team in the league. So yeah, we'll definitely take positives.
As a defensive unit, if you look at yourself, Bjorn, Tom Heaton, Freddie Gilbert and Matt Targett, you must have been proud of everyone's efforts in keeping Liverpool at bay for so long.
Absolutely, yeah. I think you look at the front three and don't really need too much of an introduction as to how good they are. But then they've got players that can come on and change the game. And the thing about playing teams in the Premier League is that you can't switch off for 1 minute, and mentally you have to be switched on for 95, 98 minutes, or however long the game is. So yeah, still disappointing. But yeah, as a defensive unit, we pride ourselves on keeping the ball out of the net, which we did for large parts of the game, but we probably haven't done that enough in recent weeks. And clean sheet seemed like it was there for the taking, but we'll go again next week and go again, try and get a clean sheet.
And personally, if you consider Man City the week before as well, it must have been a fantastic experience testing yourself against some of the most deadly attacking players in the country, if not Europe.
Yeah, disappointing how we conceded the first goal and the manner of it. Personally and as a team, it's a few errors lead to a goal, and as a defensive unit, starts with me, and we shouldn't be conceding goals like that, especially in the 46th minute, 45th minute, whenever it was. Our job is to give the team a good platform to go and attack and to keep the ball out of the net for as long as possible. So it's disappointing to concede like that. But again, for large parts of the game, we kept out a very potent strike force and attacking force in Man City, which we can take great positives out of. But this league is very unforgiving, and small mistakes quite often lead to goals. So we're fully aware of the challenges that come with playing against teams in this league, but I think we're getting there.
And a word on the supporters. The atmosphere that they generated at Villa Park on Saturday meant that it must have been a pretty special place to play.
Oh, it's incredible. It really is. And I don't think I will ever get tired of playing there, because the atmosphere that they generate, and I think it was 83rd or 85th minute when Wes is charging around, closing down, and the fans are getting behind us, and it's evident that they like to see us working hard for the badge. And I think we've given them things to cheer about at home this year, and they've also given us a lift whilst we're whilst we're on the pitch. So it definitely helps, and it's kind of a two-way relationship at the moment that's working well. Understandably, they want to see results. So when things like that happen, everybody goes home on Saturday a little bit deflated, but we can't question their support at the moment. It's been fantastic.
Moving on to the weekend, it's going to be a slightly different test against Wolves at Molineux, but considering it was two changed teams who faced each other in the Carabao Cup last week, what are you going to expect from them?
Well, yeah, that was definitely an unfair judgment of them as a Premier League team, but the way we handled ourselves and the way we played the game, I thought was extremely professional. So going into the game, we'll obviously plan for how we're going to play and plan for how we're going to try and nullify them. We're fully aware of the threat that they pose as well. Had a fantastic season last year, and the qualities that they haven't changed. So we're fully aware of what they can do, but at the same time, we'll try and implement ourselves on them.
So West Midlands derby, of course, brings it a little bit of an edge. Do you relish occasions like that?
For the fans, I think it's great, and the win means a little bit more for them. Bragging rights around the city, and whether they have colleagues working together or fans or friends or family that are supporters of Wolves, always means a little bit more. But for us, we're solely focused on getting 3 points. So the atmosphere, I'm sure, will be a good one. The Villa fans will make themselves heard as well. But yeah, the most important thing for us is to get 3 points.
Of course, off the back of that, we got the international period coming up. Is that an opportunity for the squad to sort of recuperate, recalibrate your focus, resharpen the focus, if you like, ahead of another batch of difficult fixtures ahead of the Christmas programme?
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody knows how intense the Christmas period is. So it's important that we go into this game knowing that we have one more game before a little break away from Premier League football, and one more game to make the league table look a little bit better going into that period. I think mentally, if you're sitting mid-table, the world looks a lot different place than if you're in the relegation zone, or if you're just hovering over it. You want to naturally get another game in as quickly as possible and get yourself up the table. So important time for us, not only this weekend, but yeah, an important time to put some work in over the international break as well, or rest, whatever the most important thing is.